Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to find out how quick I am to judge a book. I am doing the quick to judge tag. I was tagged a little while ago by Mark from The Book Thing. This tag was originally created by Ali Rizdal, and here are the rules for the quick to judge tag. I'm going to pick some books between 5 to 10. I'm going to read the first paragraph of each book and rank them, and then find out which book is my number one pick just from that opening paragraph, and that will be my next read. I was trying to decide, because most of my TBR is wrapped and I open a new one every month. So I was like, how can I do this without unwrapping my books or whatnot? So then I was like, maybe I'll do an e-reader challenge. And then I was like, nope, I know exactly what I want to do. And I decided to grab a stack of some of the books that my sisters gave me for Christmas. This last Christmas, we took the idea of 12 blind dates with books, or basically a book for each month. And we gifted each other, there's 3 of us, so we gifted each other 6 books. So we each got 12 books. I have read, I think, 3 books so far that I was given. So I'm gonna take this tag and I'm going to take that stack of books and see which book will be my next read. Okay, I have 5 books. And I am trying to, not prejudge, because just looking at the stack, there's already a book that I think is going to be the one that I want to read next. So I'm curious, first of all, if as I read the first paragraphs, if that will change. And second of all, if I can get that pre-quick to judge thought out of my head and just assess based on the first paragraph. So we'll see how this goes. I'm so curious in the comments if you let me know what book you would pick from these first paragraphs, and if I pick the one you thought I would pick. Okay, I'm just gonna start at the top of my stack, and the first one is The Book of Gothel by Mary McMine. Oh, I love, what is it called? Deckled Edges? I love Deckled Edges. This is from the prologue. Why am I nervous? I don't even know. Okay. The cellar was, at least, a cool respite from the murderous heat wave afflicting the Black Forest, though it smelled like a crypt, and I nearly broke my trick knee on my way down the crumbling steps. There was no railing, and my knee ached the way it always did when rain was due. Ingrid Vogel took the stairs recklessly, though her long white plate and roomy eyes betrayed that she was at least 4 decades older than I am. Apparently, she was one of those lucky octogenarians for whom arthritis was something that happened only to other people. Okay, I'm intrigued. Thus far, it's at the top of my list. Next, we have The Book of Doors by Gareth Brown. Let's see. Ooh, more Deckled Edges. That's so fun. Okay, chapter 1. In Kellner Books on the Upper East Side of New York City, a few minutes before his death, John Weber was reading The Count of Monte Cristo. He was sitting at his usual table in the middle of the store with his overcoat folded neatly over the back of his chair and the novel on the table in front of him. He stopped for a moment to take a sip of his coffee, closing the book and marking his place with a soft leather bookmark. Okay. I love the literary reference already in this. I love, obviously, it's called The Book of Doors. I was gonna say, obviously, I don't know if the whole book is about books, but it's called The Book of Doors. Anyways, I don't really know. I've heard a lot about this book, but I don't know much about, the plot. Anyways, but I like that The Count of Monte Cristo is in the first paragraph. Okay, this one is called The Reserve by Russell Banks. Let's find the first paragraph. When finally no one was watching her anymore, the beautiful young woman extracted herself from her parents and their friends and left the living room. She passed through the screened porch and crossed the deck, and barefoot walked softly over the pine needles in front of the sprawling log building downhill toward the sheared ledges along the edge of the lake. Okay, The Reserve. Next is The Spiderwick Chronicles, The Nixie Song. Or Beyond the Spiderwick Chronicles. Okay, so there's a little poem at the beginning, but I don't think that's technically part of the beginning. So I'm gonna skip ahead, and we have a little illustration there. After his mother died, Nicholas Vargas stopped bothering. His aunt Armina had told him to be good and not to bother his father, but he decided that her advice could extend to everyone and everything. It seemed that Nick's brother had the same idea. Jules never hung around long enough to bother anyone anymore. So the whole family kept on not bothering each other right up until Nick and Jules' dad suddenly decided to get married again. Okay, Spiderwick. And the last one is The Paris Apartment by Kelly Bowen. Paris, France, 10 June 2017. The woman was nude. What an interesting first sentence. And technically that's the whole paragraph, so I'm gonna go ahead and read the second paragraph as well. Painted in a swirl of angry scarlets and oranges, the woman's arms were flung over her head, her hands outstretched, her hair a cloud of midnight floating behind her. Caught in the shaft of light that fell through the open apartment door, she gazed out with dark eyes from her canvas, angry and accusing, as if she resented the intrusion into her space and privacy. Leah froze in the open doorway, one hand clutching the heavy key and the other gripping the packet of neatly organized legal papers that said she had every right to be here. Okay, so that was the first paragraph of all of these. Now I have to rank them. Do I even remember? I've already forgotten. What was this one? Oh, yes. I did a quick review already to remind me which paragraphs were which books. I think in fifth place, I'm gonna say The Reserve by Russell Banks. It was intriguing, but also it didn't really say too much. It didn't really give me much of a vibe, I feel like. I think the hard part is just because a first paragraph could lead anywhere, obviously. So but this one, the first paragraph alone was not quite enough to grip me. So I think this will be in fifth place. Let's see, in fourth place, what am I thinking? I am torn between these two. So The Paris Apartment, honestly, I did not think I would be as intrigued from the first paragraph as I was, because generally I'm not a huge fan of historical fiction. And this one, just from the back cover, is a dual timeline with 2017 and then World War II, 1942. But that it's quite an interesting introduction, and you know, the first sentence catching you off guard, and then the way that it describes the painting, a swirl of angry scarlets and oranges. I love the description already. Maybe okay. As I was talking about it, I was like, oh my gosh, maybe this is better than 4. So I think I'll put Spiderwick Chronicles at 4. This one does sound, I think it's going to be really fun when I get to it, and just flipping through, like the illustrations are so fun. I love that. And it looks like it'll be a quick read and yet another Deckled Edge book. But I think this will be my 4th. Okay, so now I have the Book of Gothel, the Paris Apartment, and the Book of Doors. Okay, I think in a surprising to me twist, I'm actually going to put the Book of Gothel 3rd. Which is interesting because this is the book, just from the cover and the description, that I thought would be my number 1 pick, / I was kind of hoping would be my number 1 pick. And I definitely, from the first paragraph, I think it'll be fun. I am excited for when I do get to it. But out of these 5 right now, what I'm feeling for this one is 3rd. So now in the surprising twist, the Paris Apartment and the Book of Doors. Okay, I think there's so much pressure, even though like literally there's no pressure because it's just a fun list of books and whatever vibe I'm feeling in the moment, but I'm feeling so much pressure right now. I have in my head that this is going to be like a deeper read, or not deep, but like not heavy. What do I feel in my head? I don't feel like it's going to be heavy, like hard to get through, but maybe it's more serious. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. And this one, usually for me, historical fiction is more of a light and easy read. So I'm like, do I take that into consideration or just the first paragraphs? Okay, this tag is just for the first paragraph, so I have to go with my gut. Number 2 is going to be the Book of Doors. I adored the literary reference. I really liked the vibe, and I am definitely intrigued by this one from the first paragraph. So this will be my number 2, which means my number 1 pick, shockingly, is the Paris Apartment. I am so intrigued with the description, particularly of that painting. I love the phrases and the way that the author, Kelly Bowen, described that. Ooh, I love a good book dedication too. To the unsung heroes who fought hatred and persecution with uncommon courage and strength, your sacrifice and efforts will not be forgotten. Let's see, this was published in 2021. Okay, so my number 1 pick, the Paris Apartment, from this Quick to Judge challenge. Also, her dress is just so pretty. Also, I'm going to Paris in a couple months. I'm so excited about that, so that'll be fun too. A little Paris prep. Okay, let me know in the comments which one of these would you have picked? Have you read any of these? Have you specifically read this book? And let me know if this is the one that you thought I would pick or not. I'm surprised myself with this one. At the time of recording, there is, I think, 1 week left in April, so I don't know that I will finish this in April, so it probably won't be in my May wrap-up. or my April wrap up, but hopefully I can at least start it and then complete it in the month of May. I'm gonna tag 2 channels, Reading Wordsmith and The Reading Hour. I would love to see your quick to judge tag and see which book makes your number 1. And until next time, happy reading.